Hello and welcome to the Christmas Day edition of Cracking the Cryptic, or the first Christmas Day edition of Cracking the Cryptic. I think Mark is going to try and do a video later on as well. Happy Christmas to you all. Now, a quick caveat before I start this. We pride ourselves on the channel, obviously, on live solving all of the puzzles, and I am going to be trying to live solve this in a moment, except that with it being Christmas Day, I could get called away for any number of reasons. It's much more likely to happen today. So I hope it won't. Wish me luck. We shall have to see. Now, what have we got for you today? Well, fittingly enough, of course, we've got a Christmas themed Sudoku. And this is a beautiful looking puzzle. It's got sort of partridge, pear tree, all of the cages adding up to 12, referencing the 12 days of Christmas, the 5 gold rings in here. And it's called Killer Partridge in a Pear Sandwich. And it's by Phil Preen. And I'm looking forward to trying it. I'll read you the rules in just a second. Before we get onto that, a couple of things to mention. If you're looking for a way to spend some time, puzzle time over the next few days, do look at our Killer Sudoku app. We're very proud of it. It's out. Well, it came out a couple of weeks ago, and if you just check out the reviews, you'll see how stellar some of the puzzles are. It really is a treat. And also, you might consider becoming a patron of the channel on Patreon. That's $2 a month. You get some amazing content over there. And at the moment, of course, you've got the Tracking the Cryptid Sudoku puzzle hunt. Now, we've been working on the video solution to that hunt. And we will probably be releasing that in the next 2 or 3 days, I would guess. So if you are still working on that and you want to shout out on the channel, which I've been doing for everyone who successfully solved it, please get your answers in soon, because once we obviously publish the solution, we won't be able to keep reading out the names. Now, in fact, somebody, Tim Mayer and Ben Bechtold, were obviously working on this on Christmas Eve, because they sent the correct answer in overnight, and they even sent a Christmas poem, which I will, well, actually it's a Christmas song, isn't it? It's referencing Jingle Bells, which I shall sing to you now because it's Christmas, and only because it's Christmas. So how does it go? It must go, adding up the sum of the digits 1 to 9, o'er the grid we run, repeatless down the line, bells on. I can't say the next word because it's the answer to the Sudoku puzzle hunt. So, okay. Bells on something toll, bringing forth inside what joy it is to solve the whole fun puzzle hunt tonight. And it goes on from there. I apologise for my voice, but yeah, I used to be able to sing before my voice broke. Anyway, that's that. Well done to Tim and Ben, and thank you very much for the Jingle Bells theme. Now, let's get on to the rules of Phil's puzzle. What is going on here? We have got normal Sudoku rules apply. Then in cages, digits must sum to 12. You can see all the cages are 12 cages, and you can't repeat a digit in a cage. Clues outside the grid give the sum of the digits sandwiched between the 1 and the 9 in that row or column. So we've got our old friend Sandwich Sudoku going on. So if you've never come across Sandwich Sudoku, how does it work? Well, look at the 6 clue here. That's telling us, let's say that there was a 9 here and a 1 here in this column. Now we would know the cells sandwiched between the 1 and the 9 in the column were these two cells. These must sum up to 6. So if the 1 wasn't there, for example, let's say it was here, you would know this square had to equal a 6. You've also got 0 clues over here, so that's telling you there is nothing sandwiched between the 1 and the 9, i.e. the 1 and the 9 have to be in adjacent cells. So that's how Sandwich Sudoku works. The 5 gold rings, you see the 5 gold rings here, they are all sandwich crusts, which means these cells are all the digits 1 or the digit 9. We don't know which, but they're all crusts of the sandwich rather than sandwich filling. And then some of the clues have been replaced with letters. Each letter represents a different digit. So what's going on here? Well, you can see I've put a little sort of aid memoir box to the right of the grid. So as we work out what digits these letters represent, we can put those digits in to keep tally. Now, the bolded letters, say partridge going down this main diagonal, that's telling us if we worked out R was equal to 9, say, that would tell us that this square had to contain the digit, or the digit that represents R, so that would have to be a 9. So that's what the sort of bold letters in the corners mean, and that's why we're in our legacy software today, because the new software didn't like these bold letters in the corners. So we're in the old app, and that means the check function. If you get to the end of the puzzle and you think you've got it right and you click check and your computer blows up, that is completely to be expected, because the check function will not understand this grid or anything to do with it. So basically, hopefully I will get the answer right, and if you think you've got the answer right, just compare your answer to mine, and then we should be good to go. Do have a go. The way to play, click the link under the video as always. Now I get to play this Christmas Sudoku. Let's get cracking. Now, shall we use classic sandwich Sudoku technique to do this? I'm just wondering if there's anything else we can do. This 4-cell 12 cage must contain a 1. I don't think that's useful. Maybe... No, I'm not sure that's useful. Yeah, I tell you what we will do. We're going to do classic sandwich Sudoku, by which I mean we're going to highlight the cells that don't contain the digits 1 or the digits 9. So it's a bit paradoxical. You would think that we would be looking to highlight the cells that do contain the 1 and the 9. And of course we do want to know those cells. And we've got to start with the gold rings. But actually the way normally to get all of the purple cells nailed down is to highlight the cells that can't be the digits 1 and 9. So look at box 3. None of these cells can be 1s and 9s, because there's only one 1 and there's only one 9 in box 3, and we've got those sort of locked into these two cells. So yeah, okay, this is going to be useful, I think, because now let's look at column 7, where the sandwich total is equal to E. Now we know E is not 0 because it's one of these. We know it's one of the digits from 1 to 9. Therefore, if E is not 0, these two squares must be green, because the only way that these cells could be purple would be if E was actually equal to 0, which it can't be. Now that square is interesting, of course, isn't it? That is an interesting square. This has to be equal to E, so it also can't be 1 or 9, because if this is 9 or 1, there's only one cell in the sandwich, and it would have to be equal to the same digit. So if this was 1, this would have to be 1. If it was 9, this would have to be 9 to meet the sandwich clue. Well, that's not possible. So this square is green, which means E itself is not 1 or 9, which means that square, those two squares of tree, these squares all turn green as well. Now, do we know anything else? Oh, yeah, sorry, look, there's a 0 clue here. Let's use that, because now this is good actually. Now we know E is green. This square must be purple, and that completes row 7 of the grid. And now again, in column 4 and column 5, we have E's, which we know are not 0, so all those squares turn green. All of these turn green. We've got the two purples in this box. D is now green. But D only appears once in the string of letters partridge, pear and tree. So that actually doesn't tell us anything new. So we know E and D are not 1 and 9. P, yeah, okay, P can't be 0, so those two squares must turn green. I is not. Oh, there's only one I in partridge, pear and tree as well. But I is not 1 or 9 either. That's interesting. Sorry, I've just noticed. These turning green means that they're not 1. So 1 is in one of those two cells. I don't know what that means. It's probably useful. P means those two squares must be green. G, again, G can't be 0, so those two squares turn green. Oh, this is important. Look, P, the maximum size P can be, is one of the digits 1 to 9, is 9. Well, 9 can't be a 4-cell sandwich, because what's the minimum you could make these 4 squares? Well, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which add up to 14. That's far too many. So this square is purple, and this square is equal to P, and all these turn green. And A and R now are not 1s and 9s, so that means R, A. Sound like a robot. Now, is this... Oh, I'm wondering if we can use this 0 clue, or even this 0. Yeah, this 0 clue I can use, because the 0 clue is saying the purples in this column have to be together, so this can't be purple anymore. So either these two are purple, or these two are purple. And if these two were purple, they would be 1 and 9, and then that would be a 2 to meet the 12 cage. That square's green because we've got the greens in this. We've got the greens in column 9. So you can see it's quite useful to do this. P. So sorry about this. I'm just trying to think about what I'm meant to do now. P is in this square, isn't it? Because it is the sandwich total, and it's a single sandwich total square. So I'm thinking about this square. This square is not... If P is not 1 or 9, and it's not, that square is green. Now, does that tell us anything about S? I'm not sure that it does, actually. I think either of these could still be 1. And the 9... Well, the only place the 9 can't be is in this box. I think it could still be here or here. Sorry. Oh, what's that mean? Go away. Dismiss. Trust it. I don't even know what that is. I think it's something to do with that Microsoft Echo or whatever it is, that new browser. P is not 1 or 9. So, okay, so what can be 1 or 9 actually? That might be a good question to ask, because we've ruled out all of pair, so pair is not 1 or 9, I is not 1 or 9, D is not 1 or 9, so G, S and T have to be, two of these 3 digits have to be 1 and 9. Oh, this is clever. Well, I'm not sure if it's the intended way of doing it, but G and S can't be 1 because they are sandwich totals. So if obviously G was 1, say, though you'd have the 1 and the 9 in the column, and you'd have to put a 1 between them, which axiomatically repeats the 1. So G and S are not 1, and therefore T is 1. That's lovely. So T is 1. We get a load of partridge. Oh, we get 2 T's. Is that all we get? Well, I can turn them both purple. That will make me feel better. Now we've got 2 purples in this box. We've got that one. We know that the 0 clue comes into its own now, which we didn't really need. To be honest, I could have done... All of that turns green. S is not 0, so it must have a sandwich. So those 2 turn green. That means the 1 is determined in the 12 cage. This can't be 1 anymore. This must be 1. So S goes in here. This is 9, and maybe we can actually do a bit of 9s and 1ing now. 9, 1, 9, 9, 1, 9. We can't quite get the 9 in box 1. We get the 1 in... Yes, we can get the 1. These 1s mean there's a 1 in one of those 2. Well, that can't be a 1, so the 1 must go there, because 1 can't be in the A square. So that's purple. 1 therefore must be in the 12 cage. That's not a great... Oh, 1 being in the 12 cage fixes the 0 clue. So this is... These are 2 purples. This square becomes a 2. Well, that's huge, actually. That's very interesting for the 6th clue, because now 2 is not in the sandwich. So you can't use a 2-4 sandwich in this column, i.e. the 6 must be in the sandwich as it's on its own. Well, it can't be there, therefore, because this is a 2-cell sandwich. So this is a 6, and this is a 9, which is lovely. So that gets us all the greens up there. We've got all the greens down here, all the greens down here. It might be... Do we know the order of this 1, 9? Maybe not. 9. Oh, I've still got to get... Yeah, okay. Now I've got to get which digit is the 9. It's G or S, but S is a single cell sandwich. So if S was 9, this square would have to be a 9. A knowledge bomb, that's going to repeat the 9 in the column. So 9 is G, which means that square is G. That being 9 fixes the 9 and the 1 down here. That fixes the 1 over here, and that is how to solve the first part of the sandwich Sudoku. We've now managed to lock in all of the 1s and 9s, and we've got a couple of extra digits as well. Now, what can we do next? So hang on, let me just take stock. I've got G, I've got T. I don't know much about anything else. I suppose I know E is greater than D, look, because D is in the sandwich here, and those 2 cells sum up to E. So E is greater than D. We know... What else do we know? Anything? I've got a 6 in the grid here, so P is not 6 or 2. Those add up to 11. So these are either 2, 3 and 6 or 2, 4 and 5. Sorry, I must be missing something fairly straightforward, I imagine. Done this clue. G is 9, so these 2 are summing to 9, but there are lots of ways of doing that. Both of those are summing to E. Now that's interesting all of a sudden. That means there has to be 2 ways of summing to whatever E is in 2 digits. So E can't be small. E couldn't be a 5, for example, because that would be, one of these could be 2, 3. The other would have to be 1, 4, and the 1 would clash. So E is not 5 or 6 for that reason. And we know E is not 9, so E is 7 or 8. Which means, this is lovely. This is absolutely lovely. So these 4 squares sum up to either 14 or 16. Well, they can't sum to 14, because if they sum to 14, those 2 squares are summing to 11, which means these 2 squares would sum up to 3, and you'd have to put a 1 in one of them, which won't work. So actually this has to add up to 16, which means E is 8. And that means we can put E's in the grid. We can put 4 E's in the grid. Oh, you can't put an E in a 12 cage, so E goes there. Can we go further than that? Maybe, I'm not sure. We probably can, I just can't see how. Now, hang on. E is equal to 8. So it's not equal to P or A. So the 8 must go in one of those 2 squares in box 1. You can't put an 8 there. So it's got to be in one of those 2 positions in box 2, which means it's got to be in one of these 2 positions in box 5, and E can't be equal to I because we know all the digits are different. So 8 goes there. 8 can't be equal to R, gorgeous, so 8 goes there, which means 8 goes here, 8 goes here, that means we get a 4 here. And have I done all the 8s now? I think I have. Now I can do maths on column 5, and we get a chance to complete our bingo card, because what does this column add up to? Well, it'll contain all of the digits from 1 to 9. If you add up the digits 1 to 9, you get 45. So a Christmas 45, but I know those two squares sum up to 8. So 8 plus 1 plus 9 is 18, plus 12 is 30, plus another 12 is 42. That must be 3 to complete the 45 total. That's important, actually, because now how do I make those two add up to 8? They can't be 1, 7 or 3, 5. This is 2 and 6. So R is 2 or 6. Let's put that in wherever R is appearing. R is appearing a few places. R is in this one. G is 9. So if R is 2 or 6, this square is 3 or 7. That's no use, I don't think. These two squares also add up to 8, and they're not 1, 7 or 2, 6. These are 3 and 5. Oh, and these two, of course, had to add up to 11, so we can now see what they are. They are 6 and 5. Oh, that gives us R as 2. So actually we get loads of stuff. R is 2. Fantastic. I've probably missed a possible R there, but R is 2. These two squares are 4 and 7, so we actually know I and P are 4 and 7. P makes an appearance up there. Sorry, let me just have a think about this now. This column needs a 5 and a 7 to complete it. 5 by Sudoku goes here. Now that's lovely, because now S is suddenly determined. S is just equal to 5. These two squares are a 2-4 pair to complete the 12 cage. 2 must go here by Sudoku. These two squares are 6 and 7, I think. Now one of those is in this 12 cage, so these two squares add up to 11. So this is 5 or 4. This square here at the bottom is 4. So these three squares are now known. They are 2, 3 and 6. And we've got another E clue here. Oh, goodness, I should have used this before, but I didn't see it. It's because I can't label these with letters. But look, we know that these are both P, and we know that P is 4 or 7. Well, that one can't be 7, so it must be 4, and therefore P is 4, I is 7, P is 4, I is 7, P is 4. Therefore, by Sudoku, it goes there. That means that's a 5, that's a 6, that's a 7. And suddenly we're cooking with gas as well on this Christmas day. I've not had my turkey yet. I was thinking I was going to have to record this afternoon, but actually I've been fortunate this morning, I think. Oh, A is 3. We just got that by some Sudoku. So that square there. What are we missing? 6. D is 6. D makes an appearance here in a column with an E. E is 8, so that's a 2. That means that's a 2 by Sudoku. Now, hopefully, A we've got. A is 3. Therefore, we need a 7 to complete this. We need a 6 to complete this. And I really think we might be on the home stretch now. We need 3 and 5 down there. Don't know the order. But we do, therefore, get this one, which is a 6. That gives us a 6 and the 3 over there. 3 now must be in one of these two cells. It can't be there because that will place an 8 in the 12 cage. So the 3 goes here. That fixes the 3 and the 5 and the 7. The 7 goes here. The 2 and the 4 go into the grid. These two squares are 4 and 4. Yeah, 4 and 5. So that should be 7. That should be 7. It still looks like it's working. 6 and 5 here. Yeah, I think that looks okay. And hopefully, let's do this slowly. We need 3 and 5 up here. Now, that's working for the box. It's working for the columns. It's working for the rows. And this one, therefore, should be a 5. that's working for the row, that's working for the column, it's working for the box. I think this is the correct solution. I think I filled in all the digits, and a very happy Christmas to you all. Mark, as I say, he should be back later with a second edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and thank you so much for watching these past 12 months. They've been very interesting few months, but we hope Cracking the Cryptic has made a positive difference to those of you who stuck with us. Yeah, and as I say, back later today and then tomorrow with more Sudoku content. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.